the universe of the spirits, the world of the souls. So now this is when a person he or she is dying, the soul is being extracted. What happens? Where does the soul go first? The Prophet ﷺ is saying that when a believing servant is about to depart, these angels, they descend from the heavens. They have shrouds from Jannah. So then what happens is they're waiting, and then the Malakul Maut appears. This is the angel of death. He's not frightened of anything, goes and stands, sits right by the head of this person and says, أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الطَّيِّبَةِ, O pleasant soul, come out, be extracted, depart. It just flows out like a drop flows from the mouth of a bottle. He takes hold of it, but those angels do not allow it to drop to the ground or for anything else to happen, and they quickly, at the blink of an eye, they will come and grab this soul. They go up to the heavens. Any angel they go past, this angel is wondering, what is this beautiful, elegant soul? It says, Fulan ibn Fulan. When they get to the first heaven, they will ask for it to be opened. It's open for them and they are welcomed. Until they get to the seventh heaven, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Uktubu kitaba abdi fi illiyin. Write the record of this servant of mine in the a'la illiyin, in the highest levels. But return the soul back to the earth. وَمِنْهَا أُخْرِجُهُمْ مَرَّةً أُخْرَى. And it's from the earth that I will then resurrect them the second time. Then this ruh comes back into the body. By this time, then eventually it's going to be set up into the grave by the angels Munkar and Nakir. And then the angels come and say, who's your Lord? And what is your deen? It's going to be an enjoyable session. You're confident. Then the Prophet ﷺ carried on, and he mentioned how a disbeliever's soul will be taken. It's not going to be as pleasant as this. The main thing is that when they get to the heavens, or any angel they go past, they will recognize this as a disgusting ruh, as a disgusting soul. And that's why they will say, Ma hadha ruhul khabith. What is this repugnant soul? What is this ugly thing you've brought? What is this filthy thing that you've brought? And they will say, Fulan ibn Fulan bi aqbahi ismin. And they will say, it's so and so with the worst of the names that he would have liked to have been called by. Until eventually they get to the first heaven. And the first heaven, they ask for it to be opened, but it's not opened. And that's where the Prophet ﷺ recited from the Quran, لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. The doors of heavens will never be opened for them. ولا يدخلون الجنة. They will not enter Jannah. حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط. Until a camel is able to go through the eye of a needle, which is an impossibility. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Uktubu kitabahu fi sijjin fil ard. Record his name, give him a booking in the sijjin. This is the register of the worst of the people. This is where their names will be designated, that they must go there. His soul will just be flung. Finally, his ruh is brought back into the jasad, and then he is also made to sit up by the Munkar and Nakir that come in these weird forms. And then he's also asked the question, Man Rabbuk? If he's already not frightened, then this is the worst of situations that he will face. What kind of an answer will he give on that day? And after the questioning, then the Prophet ﷺ explained that this grave of yours, which is the barzakh, is the first stage of the hereafter. Enjoying or in punishment. The soul doesn't have to stay in the grave though. So where is the soul before Jannah and Jahannam? Before the day of reckoning, where is the soul in this time? The soul, depending on who the person is either going to be in the middle of Jannah, around the edges of Jannah, or at the doors of Jannah. As for the kafir and what he will experience, so the Prophet ﷺ saw this in one of his dream ascensions, where there was one man who used to speak lies, and hooks were being used by the angels to pull his cheek and tear his cheek from one end to the other. Then you had the other one whose face was just being crushed with a stone every time. Then there's the ones who used to miss the prayer, and that's the one whose heads were being crushed. Then there were the fornicators, and they would come up with the flames, and then they would go back down. That then it will feel this punishment, and so on and so forth.